All right, we're live. Wait, hold on. This stupid thing didn't play. I have to play the thingy.
Oh yeah, where's the
What?
intro?
I know, that's what I said. Good morning, everybody. Okay, I had a little bit of a bit there. I thought it would work. It technically didn't, but I guess for everyone who didn't get that, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am Dom of X, the manager of this channel and comicreleases.com assistant editor. And today I have a two-man panel with me. To my right is
Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics. Thank you guys for joining us. And I just want to say real quickly, on my channel all month I've been doing horror comics every single day. So if you're into horror comics or you're in that mood, 'tis the season, go check out my channel, Taylor Talks Comics.
Indeedy. Good morning, and he has been pumping the videos out daily. I have been impressed. I will say.
It's been a lot of work. I did a lot of preparation. I've been reading horror comics since like July. So
Oh wow!
The biggest content creation month of Taylor's life, no doubt. And to the bottom of me is
Joe Talks Comics. I run a podcast where I talk with friends about the comics that we've been reading, enjoying, plus some episodes and creator interviews. And if you want to hear my top 5 picks from the solicitations, including single issues as well as collected editions, that episode will be going up next Wednesday, which is very exciting. So yes, thank you again for having me on. It is funny because I spent the weekend catching up on your various live streams on this channel, on your own channel with Curtis. So it's fun to be back on the channel again after all.
Hey man, you are of course a staple of these monthly, and we love having you on every single time. So thank you for joining us once again. Dan got called into work, but he will be back next month to talk about the February 2025 catalog. It's weird saying 2025, but we are literally at the tail end of the year, and it feels so weird saying that because we are talking about the January solicitations, but alas, it is what it is. Hello, Kyle, and of course, good morning, Usef. Of course, you can find me at Dom of X, where I'm like, I think like 10-ish subscribers away from 2100, which kind of feels surreal to me. But thank you all once again. And Comic Releases, of course, where we will be talking about all of the documentation for today's solicitations, and you can find that as well. We also have a Patreon where you can donate $2. You'll get a watch list along with helping me and Webhead out there as well. Juana, good morning. Can you recommend me some comics similar to Scott Pilgrim?
Ooh.
Good question, actually.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at Scott Pilgrim right now. Let me think about it.
I've honestly never read it.
Oh, really? Oh, it's great stuff.
Yeah.
I've watched the movie. I'm waiting. I'm trying to figure out a way to buy that box set, but I currently don't have any room in my room, which is why I haven't gotten to it yet.
I mean, the box set looks great too, but I have these hardcover collections.
Oh yeah,
The color collection. I actually bought these from Omnidog.
There you go.
So it's been released in black and white or color. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit slice of life of like teenage melodrama, but then also there's like obviously hyper exaggerated things where he's like fighting giant bad guys and things with the power of rock and roll. Murder Falcon, maybe?
Oh, there you go. That's a good
Murder Falcon. That's not so much teenage slice of life drama, but it does have like that surreal rock and roll mixture kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, any sort of Daniel Warren Johnson comic will have that sort of level of action with emotion, and
Yeah, that one just came to my mind because of the music connection, but the artwork and the story are pretty different than Scott Pilgrim now. I'll keep thinking about that though. It's a good question.
We will get back to you on that one, but for now, Murder Falcon by Daniel Warren Johnson, and honestly, any comic by Daniel Warren Johnson is an A+ shot from us. And there you go. Thank you, James, for the Patreon. It's been a while. Well, Arya, it's good to see you here in the morning. Nick says Snot Girl in Seconds by writer of Scott Pilgrim are also both good. So,
oh yeah, those are good, obvious ones. The same cartoonist, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Roy, yes, Kermit having the best time with Uncle Scully. Yeah, all right. Let me highlight Jace right there in the top left.
Dupe's over there too. You just can't see him.
But yes, we are going to be talking about all of the solicitations for this month of January. And for those, again, semi-unfamiliar with solicitations, the same thing happens and goes for Marvel and DC, which I get to talk about for DC every month now. And for Omar, it's Marvel, where he has the panel on every single month. Comics are solicited. That means they are up for order at whatever retailer that you guys decide to collect, or whatever retailer, Marvel, whatever company decides to push out. For this month, it is January 2025. So the next catalog is going to be whatever you can order from wherever you decide to buy your comics. It is all the information that is put out as well by the publisher for that singles month of comics, and of course every single collected edition from months on forward, not necessarily in January, but available to order by that time. All right, let's go ahead and get this underway and share my screen, and we'll go from whatever order I guess my browser allows me to go in.
Ooh, is it like Russian roulette? We don't know
which, I guess, but I in the see, apparently, and this is what I was told by my uncle when I was like 7 years old when I visited the Philippines again. He showed me like the knife that he uses, like
yeah.
He calls it the Filipino something game. The Filipino something game, and he succeeded. I was like, how did you not cut yourself? And he said it takes years of practice apparently to perfect the skill.
Yeah, I had a kid in Boy Scouts that was good at that, and then he asked if he could do it like with my hand, and I was like, I don't think so. Like, he's doing pretty good, but I don't know if I trust you.
Do not trust the children.
Yeah, Boy Scouts with pocket knives can be dangerous sometimes.
Very true. All right, we got the IDW January 2025 solicitations. That is a nice Phil Noto cover. Only one hardcover from the IDW set, and that is Paul Smith's Uncanny X-Men Artist Edition. Paul Smith, one of the seminal artists of the Claremont Uncanny X-Men run, obviously one of the most important and honestly not talked about enough. I think for all the praise that Byrne gets, Cockrum, Silvestri, Lee, I think Smith tends to be folded under the rug a bit, but that is just
I think the Uncanny Omar is one of his favorite X-Men artists as well as Paul Smith. Yeah, this is like a nice trilogy of like the early Claremont X-Men that we have now, because we, like you just mentioned, we have the Cockrum Artist Edition, we have a Byrne Artist Edition for X-Men. Now this is giving us Paul Smith, and I don't think this collects full issues, though, does it?
It pages from 165 to 175, but also has X-Men Alpha Flight collected in it as well.
So none of those three artist editions that I mentioned collect full issues. There's like a collection of original art pages, but they're still really magnificent collections. I think I've shown off the Byrne one on my channel. I still need to do the Cockrum video on my channel, and then I'll definitely be picking this one up. And then there is a Jim Lee X-Men artist edition as well, so we have that one, and then maybe one day Silvestri.
One day.
Which I think Silvestri is Omar's #1 favorite comic artist, right?
Yeah. Yep. Omar's favorite artist ever is Silvestri.
So I know he'll be chomping at the bit for that one.
If he will. I have no doubt about that. But yes, for all the we had Scott Dunbier, sorry.
Dunbier, yeah.
I keep saying Dunbier because my brain just is wired like that. But Yeah, we had him on the channel, and obviously he won't be at the helm of these anymore because of the brand new Act 4 publishing company that he just pushed out not too long ago. But we will still be getting artist editions from IDW, and this is the next one on their list.
Which I think he did work on this one.
He did. Okay.
We don't have any announcements from IDW about artist editions that Scott has not worked on, so we don't know if they'll continue necessarily. We do have solicits for reprints of old ones that Scott did work on. So when I mentioned the Silvestri possibility of a Silvestri artist edition, I guess maybe that would possibly come out with Act 4.
Oh, sure.
We don't know, but
next one up is My Little Pony Volume 3 Rainbow Dash, 87 and 88 collected here. Little Pony Friends Forever 6 and 36, 899, 96 pages. This is for the. This is very much a small book.
oh, Tony Fleece on artwork though. Tony Fleece of Stray Dogs fame.
It's a Stray Dog. Yeah,
which I thought they were losing this license though. Is it maybe just after? Maybe
I think it's probably after, just trying to get everything up before they eventually drop it. But yeah, January 20.
I'll be curious who picks that up because that's a pretty big license for comics for all ages.
It is
the all ages crowd.
I have found a lot more people. I will say surprising. Maybe not surprisingly. I don't think that's the right word. A lot more people at my shop, and also just like around, like people I just know in the sphere of my life are like into My Little Pony a lot more than I thought originally.
Yeah, it was a massively popular comic book series. It's lasted hundreds of issues for IDW.
For sure. Dream Over by Donnie Diaz. This is a young adult graphic novel where two best friends becoming more best friends and a dream feels come true. And they go to a sleepover. You know what? This actually sounds like it was made for me. As someone who seldom had sleepovers, but still went to them at any time that they could. 312 pages, 1999.
Nico's a shy, self-conscious emo boy. That sounds like my biography when I was a kid. that was me in high school. I do like the IDW is getting into these creator-owned graphic novel type deals, though.
Yeah, no, me too. I think a lot of indie companies are doing it. Image is pushing them out. Seems like a good bit. Dark Horse is trying to get into that too. So that's the IDW is attempting that too for a change to sort of.
Yeah, they were the ones that were most dependent on licensed comics, I feel like. So, yeah. And I always wanted them to kind of mix it up because I think Dark Horse is like the best combination of like licensed comics and create your own stuff. Like they have both kind of pillars built holding them up as a publisher. And IDW, who's had some financial struggles over the last few years, hoping the best for them. And I think this is a good way to do that.
Completely agree. Up next, we got the second series of Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I read the first series of this, not the second one, but this is by Cullen Bunn and Baldemar Rivas. 128 pages, $17.99. And this again collects the. Yeah, this is the second one. So
did Cullen Bunn write the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I read the first one a couple of months ago and I loved it, but I know as a different artist, I'm curious to see how that changes the read on the sequel.
That's good to hear because this is I don't know why I haven't read the first one. I grew up on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I love Godzilla comics. They're a perfect match made in heaven. But they're fighting like they're not teaming up, right? They're like fighting like the giant Megazord versus Godzilla.
Yeah, they're fighting, and there's like various monsters involved, and the art by I think Freddie Williams II on the first one is just awesome.
Man, I kind of hope they do a collection, like a kaiju size collection, hardcover collection. All kaiju comics should be in hardcovers that are way oversized, in my opinion. Any Godzilla comic should be as big as possible.
I agree.
Well, it's like when I was excited for the Godzilla by James Stoker Deluxe Edition, and then it turned out to be standard sized, and I was like, I need to reevaluate how I want to buy these.
I kept the Half Century War, but and it is oversized like the hardcover, like the original hardcover collection, but it's really not that much bigger than that one. They really need to do like a artist edition sized almost of that. That book is amazing. I love that one. Any James Stokoe art deserves
Right.
the oversized.
Any James Stokoe art
Yeah.
deserves to have it in that trim format. Next up, we got TMNT, Untold Destiny of the Foot Clan, which is the end of the trade paperback solicitations by Eric Burnham, Matteo Santo Lugoco on the art, 136 pages, $17.99. Collecting this 4 question mark issue series.
Is this part of like the continuity before Jason Aaron takes over?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So presumably, if they keep going with the hardcovers, this would be in one of the latter hardcovers.
Yes.
Okay. So I know they do a good job of collecting all the miniseries too in those.
They do. They do. Yeah, that is all we do have for IDW. And up next, we got Titan. The first of which is Will Eisner's John Law. This is perfect for, well, any fan of Will Eisner. $24.99, 152 pages under the Hardcase Crime Comics imprint.
This is it's a hardcover. I've never read this before. I love Will Eisner. Obviously, he's one of the master cartoonists of comics that's influenced generations of cartoonists. Forward by Dennis Kitchen was a big deal. Kitchen Sink published a lot of Will Eisner comics back in the day, which is Dennis Kitchen's old publishing company.
Mm-hmm.
But Titan has this now. I wonder if this means Titan will do more Will Eisner after this. I know PS Art Books has been doing the Spirit collections lately. I don't know. Sorry. I'm very curious about this though. I do love the Hardcase Crime imprint too.
A lot of good books there.
Yeah.
New forward by Dennis Kitchen. Yeah, I think this is a must buy if you're just honestly, if you're a comic fan.
Yeah.
Just in
especially
case.
crime comics, like this is gonna be classic crime comics for sure. But
for sure. I think one that Omar announced not too long ago. This is Conan Omnibus Volume 5 by DeMatteis, Buscema, and Kane. Collecting Barbarian, Conan the Barbarian 116 149, Conan Barbarian Annuals 6 through 9, Of the Isles, and What If 39, $150, May 7th so far. Hey, that's our friend. It's okay.
Hey, Dan. Everybody go subscribe to Comics with Dan, though.
Go subscribe to him. He is an epic man, epic person, makes cool content too.
Yeah, this is post Roy Thomas era Conan that we're getting into now, and this is so Marvel did print this before. This is a reprint of the Marvel Omnibus, right? Yeah. Oh, did Dom freeze up on us? I think Dom froze
okay
up.
I think
okay,
we're good. Okay. Thank you, James, for the
there you go. Everybody go subscribe.
Hello, Indie Comics Corner. But yes, I think you would be right. This is the regular DM for those wondering. Man, watching these videos on PST is a trip. It's like watching NFC Drive Time radio show.
That should exist.
It should exist. We should do that. That's a good video idea. Mark, like, book it. You got to book that. Let's see. Next up, we got an anniversary edition of Star Wars Insider, The Phantom Menace, 25th anniversary special edition. I don't know if I have any opinion.
Is this like a? Hold on, go back to the description.
It's a reprint of the hardcover magazine,
including interviews. Oh, so this was like a fan magazine or collection from back in the day that they're reprinting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting.
And to continue that, they are also doing a Star Wars Insider trilogy box set, $69.99, November 6th. Using the code that, and this is a box set of
I have to say,
episodes 4, 5, and 6.
I love the idea of reprinting old magazines because I feel like that's one of the mediums that's gonna like die off and never be preserved for history, kind of thing.
Mhm.
I love like the Marvel Age omnibus we got. So if you're a huge Star Wars fan and you're into like, because this will be like give you like a time capsule of what the thoughts were about these movies in real time, like as they're coming out. It sounds like.
And then it's got
Yeah, that's
interviews with the stars of the set and a lot more.
You know,
which is
prior
nice.
to Twitter and all the toxic fan culture around Star Wars, you can actually
Yep.
read things about people being excited about these movies.
I know. So I can only imagine like how big the lines for Empire and Return must have been.
Oh, have you ever
Like-
seen the documentary about the people waiting in line for Phantom Menace?
I have not.
I forget what it's called, but there's a whole documentary of just the people waiting in front of like the Chinese theater in LA for Phantom Menace, and they're waiting like months. So it's like you're like literally like every day, like you're talking to the same people that are like at the front of the line about their life and how much they love Star Wars and how excited they are. I forget what it's called, but
That's wild.
it's quite fascinating.
And this is an interesting one. We have Captain America, The Shield of Sam Wilson. This is, I believe, just a regular book, but Titan is also pushing these out. It's an anthology, and
Oh, like prose stories?
I believe so.
I see.
There's no artist
Yeah,
listed.
'cause-
though.
Yeah, no artist listed. Must be a prose thingy.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you're scrolling through and you're like, oh,
They're making a Sam Wilson book, and it's like, no, it's a it's a novel. But then yeah, we also got an art of the movie for Age of Ultron.
Is that a reprint?
It's not.
I know
At
that
least, well,
they
because
released-
they've been putting these out for some of like the older movies for Marvel, like the last couple of months solicitations.
yeah,
Not just like the brand new movies, but like original, like the 2008 to 2019
yeah.
era of Marvel Studios. Yeah,
I
think
know
they're
they
just
come out
trying
with
to
one of
fill in
these
the
for like every
gaps.
movie. It seems like I didn't know they must be retroactively going back, like you said, and doing like the older ones.
Indeed.
I didn't know how long they were doing those.
And
Oh
yes,
yeah,
fellas,
thank you, Bunk.
if you are here, be sure to hit that like button so we can let the world know that these books are out for solicitations. Next up, we got Conan the Barbarian: Frozen Faiths, Volume 4 trade paperback. Oh, this is part of the trade paperback section of the solicitation rounds. Everybody on planet Earth is talking really good things about Jim Zub's Conan. I really, really need to get to it at some point, even though I'm not a Conan
Yeah,
guy. And I
same.
feel so weird saying that. Like I'm not big on like like that part of the fantasy genre, even like, with the exception of Zelda. Like that's it. But I have not heard one single bad thing about this book, which I think is a testament to everybody on that team.
And Jim Sub is a fan of or friend of the channel. I know him and Omar chatted up quite a bit. And did you see his Twitter the other day when he said that he was at a convention and a fan walked up to him and said it was like a
Yes.
Spider-Man cosplay, and they walked up to him and took a picture with him, and then they walked away and said, "Your Spider-Man run sucks." And Jim Sub was like, "That's Zeb Wells."
That was awful to hear about.
That's
I write
so,
Conan.
That's so bad.
People mixing up Jim Zub and Zeb Wells. That's funny stuff. But also, you know, bad for Zeb Wells. But Jim Zub then followed up with saying like, Zeb Wells is a really nice guy. Don't yell things at him.
I would also add like to that, I guess for that story, like if they like, let's just say they also like hypothetically knew Jim Zub in like that instance. Jim Zub, who's never written a Spider-Man run, why would you say that to him?
I don't know. I think the fan thought he was Zeb Wells, I think, or got mixed up or whatever. But I don't know why a fan would say that anyways, in general. Like you go up and take a picture, and then as you're walking away, you're like, that's such a cowardly thing to do anyways. But and we're talking about comics here.
That's what I thought. Sorry, that's what I thought was funny. Is like, even if it was Zeb Wells, he wanted a photo with Zeb Wells, and then he told them the run sucked anyway. So he wanted the photo. It's not like he was just going to.
Well, I'm sure it was so he
him,
could
which
post
I
on
find strange.
So he can post on Twitter and be like, "Look, I took a picture with this guy," and then told him his comics suck.
Yeah, I guess so.
People are
The
is
final
super
issue
rude,
of
by
his
the way.
Spider-Man run is out on Wednesday, and famously, Spider-Man fans will stop complaining once it's out.
Oh no, they won't. You know they won't.
Oh no,
I know. I got the sarcasm.
what will happen is when the omnibus comes out, people will say, "Actually, that run was pretty good," and then they'll start crapping on whoever's writing Spider-Man after that.
Yeah, but it's the cycle. But no, I got a taste for Conan when I read Duggan's Savage Avengers, the omnibus, a couple of months
Same.
ago,
Mhm.
which is part of also what's tempting me to try some more Conan at some point.
Yeah, same here. Dom's got Squirrel and Piplup behind him, but where's for his Mudkip, aka the best water star. You know what? I saw the leaks. Real side note, if anyone has seen the Poke leaks that have come out, they have released a whole bunch of like unused art designs for a lot of the Pokemon from Gens 1 to 9. I'm gonna say it. I after seeing Mudkip's or what was supposed to be one of his designs, I'm no longer in love with the Mudkip that's out. So I will say that. I like Mudkip, and see, Indie Comics Corner knows what's up. I love this guy.
Oh,
He's a good-
Squirtle's my son's favorite Pokemon.
Nice.
He's dressing up as Squirtle for Halloween, actually.
Oh, that's so cute.
yeah,
That's so cute.
He
That's
is
awesome.
a diehard for Squirtle. He has
You gotta get him this for Christmas then.
well, he has the what do they call the Squishmallows? He has like the one that
Oh,
looks
he's
like
one of those.
like it's a big. It looks like the same size as that one, but it's Squirtle's like it looks like he's sleeping.
Right, it's like a circle instead of the actual figure.
No, it's
I guess.
just a figure. He's got arms and things, but
Right.
like it looks like he's sleeping. His eyes are closed. It's kind of cute, but
See, there you go.
good Pokemon
And-
talk.
Pokemon talk on. Hey, I mean, we could get who publishes them. Maybe if we get a hold of them, then we can talk about Pokemon. I'd love to do that, but we don't get solicits from.
I will say, so I've been reading the Pokemon manga, just a little off tangent here. With my son, he's read like the first 30 volumes and he loves them. But I'm not the biggest fan of those. They're okay. But my wife found these Pokemon pocket comics, and they're like four panel gag strips, like a daily comic almost. And they're done by some Japanese mangaka. And they're hilarious. Like they're so funny. Like they're like kind of making fun of themselves and like just these Pokemon in different funny situations and like little 4-panel strips. Recommend those for anybody that wants some funny daily comics that has a son that's obsessed with Pokemon and maybe you're not the biggest fan of Pokemon.
Right. There you go. There's a couple of recommendations from us. Squirtle is my daughter's favorite. See, that's cute. I love that she has good taste. It's glad someone has good taste in the family, Bunk. I apologize.
Bunkmaster, getting us off topic here. It's his fault.
Conan the Barbarian, Battle of the Blackstone, trade paperback by Jim Zub, Jonas Scharf, and I cannot say he's the colorist. I can't say his name, but he colors
Zhao.
Yeah, Zhao. I think I'm saying that right. Collecting the epic Conan event, collecting the 4-issue series, and free comic book day issue as well.
Now this is making me want Titan to release a collection, like an omnibus of all the stuff in order, because now I don't know where this goes in the
I don't either.
Oh, this includes Solomon Kane, Dark Agnes, all of the other Robert E. Howard characters. So it's like a big crossover.
Yeah, it's a big crowd for 4-issue series. And then Savage Sword, Volume 2, collecting issues 4 and 6, or 4 through 6, I should say, of Savage Sword of Conan.
Oh, this is a new magazine.
New magazine. Here's the regular market and the direct market.
Man, they're pumping out this new material, which is great.
It is indeed. All right. Next up, we got Dead Space Volume 1 by Anthony Johnston and Ben Templesmith. Where do I know Ben Templesmith from? It's a name that's familiar. 164 pages, $17.99.
I feel like didn't he draw Batman comics?
I want to say so, yeah. I know that name from somewhere.
He's Australian, maybe.
30 Days of Night, was that him?
I think that was.
Most notable
30 Days of Night, yeah, you're right. Singularity.
Oh, Fell by Warren Ellis.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's also probably what. Yeah, 30 Days a Night. Thank you. Savage Sword of Conan has been fantastic. It's good to hear.
A profile picture as well.
Oh, there you go. Should have known. I should have known. But yeah, this is the first volume of the first of 3 in the Dead Space video game. So if you are a fan of Dead Space, the video game, James has a new theory. Ben Templesmith equals Bunk Mata B or Bunk Master B equals C. Look at that. That's the tech. That's true sleuthing right there, James. Huge Detective by Adam Rose and Magenta King.
I will say, looking at the picture of Ben Templesmith, there is a resemblance there.
There is. But yes, Huge Detective, 1999, 128 pages, collecting the 5-issue series.
That reminds me that. Did you ever read that novel back in the day, the Max the Mighty?
We had to cover it in English one of my high school years.
Yeah, with like the kid that was like always on the big giant kid's shoulders or whatever.
Yeah, kind of remind. Yeah, I can see it. Next up, here we go. Here is one for the here's one for the kids and all ages. Honestly, Peanuts, Snoopy and the Red Baron, the World War I fighter ace, Charles Schultz, 64 pages, $9.99.
Oh, it's a facsimile edition of the classic paperback. So you'll find these in like antique malls or thrift stores sometimes. They're like the little tiny paperbacks that you'd get as like a kid, and they take all the newspaper strips from Charles Schultz and like they'll cut them up into like put 2 panels per page kind of thing.
Really, I got one of those from Kohl's a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and they used to do it with like the Mad Magazine strips and stuff too. Spy versus Spy was collected in a similar fashion. So they're doing like facsimile editions of those. That's kind of cool.
Isn't Huge Detective just absolute Batman?
Well, that's funny.
Oh my gosh, we got to make absolute Batman as big as possible. Just tell him that every single issue he just gets bigger until he's as big as the world. Thank you, Scott.
I mean, Snyder did say that for every person that complained about the logo, he would make it bigger.
I feel like that's what Frank Miller was doing with Dark Knight Returns. Like, I feel like every issue he was subsequently getting bulkier and bulkier.
I can see the inspiration dripping.
Oh yeah.
Farewell, My Odin, Volume 1 by Chihiro Yoshioka. This is a manga. $12.99, 208 pages. Unleash the wrath of the Warwolf. Epic battles between mighty warriors in a bygone era. So this is a boy to wolf story.
This is something that Titan has done over the last couple of years too, dabbling in manga, which I think every publisher also needs to do. I think every publisher that's not Marvel or DC needs to have like manga, creator owned stuff and licensed stuff to like really keep them afloat in this era of comics. And I think Titan's been doing a good job of that. This one I've never heard of, but I like the description of it.
Against Warriors. It's a nice cover.
It looks like a samurai manga.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
Viking.
It's on my radar, Titan. $12.99. Looks like Tankobon sized.
Yeah. I think this is up a lot of people's alleys. Absolute Batman would just punch Darkseid and that's the end of the universe. Oh, it's funny. Sword of the Titans, another Titan manga. $12.99. This is a debut manga from Kishida Shiki.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sweeping quest through a magical land full of monstrous creatures and noble gods. In a time when gods and humans live and fight together, the boy Tsuchimaru was helpless, a mere child in the face of those mighty struggles. That is, until a mysterious wandering artisan came with a sword they had forged and gifted it to the child, enabling him to take up arms in the titanic conflict. You know what? I might buy this.
It looks awesome too.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
I need to read more manga. I don't think I'm fulfilling my quota. That's what people tell me anyway.
Do you read a lot of manga?
I read when I can.
Okay.
I've just swamped.
Oh no, absolutely. I just didn't know. Some people were
I
like,
do. I do
don't
read
read any
manga, just
manga.
not
There's
as
some
often as
manga.
I'd like to. I guess
Yeah.
is where I should say.
What about you, Joe? Do you read manga?
I have dabbled in manga.
Okay.
I'm reading a couple of series gradually, but I've read a few things. But yeah, I need to read more.
Awesome.
Being straight. Another manga by Aoya Kashiro and Shonsho Hangetsuban. And the Crunchyroll anime adaptation is apparently on there, but this is volume 2 of Working for God in a Godless World. That's a nice title. I won't lie. That is a pretty cool title.
I agree.
Yeah, that's all I actually have to say about the book. I like the title. I might check that out on Crunchyroll. And then Alien Seventh Circle, which brings us to the end of Titan. This is by Filipa Ballantine and Clara Caria, as human colonies who are obliterated by the Jark pathogen. This is a novel. This isn't a comic.
I was gonna say, is this like alien, like xenomorph aliens?
Yes.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. They can still do novels over at Titan, maybe.
Yeah, they do put out a decent amount of novels, both hardcover and paperback, as far as Titan's concerned, and we do occasionally get them whenever they decide to publish them over, and this was one of them. So
The cover looks awesome.
it does.
I love Alien, like the franchise, into the comics and everything. I've never read any prose from that universe, though.
Yeah, I haven't either, but if you are an Alien fan, you got to add to your growing list of Alien, whatever that might look like. This is definitely the source for that, and you can also get all of these books from IDW and Titan with our sponsors at BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader in graphic novels, storefront in Montreal, Quebec. And their site, bdcosmos.com, which offers 25% off your order at $99 more, or free shipping in Canada. Every order for $200 or more. The care is exceptional, and your books will stay cozy and warm in their box. BD Cosmos will do everything they can to also help out your order, just in case a customer needs their support. And if you let them know that we sent you, you will be added to a monthly gift card raffle of $25, and entries are both valid for new and returning Canadian customers. BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader in comics and collected editions. Bing, bing, bing. All right. I think I fulfilled my quota there for Melanie. Oh my gosh. All right, on to Boom Studios, the first of which is Animal Pound, a book that I have kept hearing from people both before and during launch with Peter Gross. Obviously, yes, it's the same Animal Pound from Orwell. That was you get the gist and point. Issues 1 through 5 are going to be collected in this hardcover.
I'm excited to read this. I haven't read it yet. And Tom King, I've liked everything I've read from him. And him he's starting to dabble a little bit in the creator-owned space, which I like. Getting a little bit away from the DC comics.
I think he shines a lot more in anyway. I've found I found a lot of his creator-owned books to be really, really fulfilling. So
yeah, so I like to see him do that. And anything, I do love Orwell's Animal Farm. It's very classic story. So Tom King, I feel like he's really great at taking like those classic runs of comics, like Jack Kirby's like Fourth World and doing like Mr. Miracle. So and he always like honors it too, like with a love letter, but also adds something to it. And I feel like that's probably what he's going to be doing here with Animal Farm. And I trust that it'll be another addition to his great catalog.
I agree.
Yeah, I know. I've seen some people also talk about Animal Castle from Ablaze, which is also based on Animal Farm, which I need to read that as well as this. I haven't read either of them.
I've seen that comic. I didn't know it had anything to do with Animal Farm.
Yeah, I can't remember the creative team, but it's supposed to be good as well.
Sure. I heard the same from people too, and I remember it flying off the shelves when I was working at the comic shop. I can't say I can't speak the same for Animal Pound because I no longer work at a comic shop, but I've heard a lot of talk behind the series, both when it was announced and during the runtime. So, yeah, this is a must get if you are a Tom King fan, and also Peter Gross and Tamara Bonvillain on the illustrations. That is a great.
Tamara Bonvillain on color. She's a great colorist.
I agree.
Is this
Yeah.
this is Boom Studios, right?
Boom's, yeah, we're on Boom now.
So this is a
Yeah.
hardcover. Do we know the size?
Should be standard.
That's interesting because does Boom do standard hardcovers?
You know what? Let me see if it's available. Because the thing with Boom, maybe we'll ask if we can get the brown of this. They usually don't send in the mentions, whereas other yeah, this is standard. So
that's interesting. 'Cause lately they've been doing like the hardcovers are like the deluxe edition plus slipcase type deal.
Yep. I got this in the mail. I've got the overview, which is coming out probably at some point Wednesday. Big thank you to Taylor for helping me get the jump board and figuring out. Yeah, but they did standard hardcovers for Wade's Irredeemable and oh hey Josh. But yes, they have done standard hardcover. But yeah, this is very much an oversized hardcover from Boom. So
nice. I need to get that when it comes out.
I need to also record it, but my camera is currently dead and I need to charge it. So lots of stuff.
They've got a couple of Italian hardcovers that are out because they've also got The Woods with Michael D'Alinas. So I'm also excited for.
Yeah.
I think they were like something that is killing the children sold so well. They're like anything we have the rights to, we're putting in deluxe hardcovers.
Yeah, it's tying in, so people will probably get a small chance to pick it up because he has I think earned that. Yeah, real quick, want to address this. Don't know where Valiant is going with their upcoming collected editions. Hero, Universe, Origins are insane deals, half the price of Epics. They're just volume ones. I think they're only doing it for like the modern Valiant stuff. It's not like time before that. It's modern, and on top of that, like I think Valiant got bought out right by Alien
Books. Yeah.
I think the situation, it's not dodgy. It just is a completely different situation than what Aliens had. So I have no idea where they're going either, but I think they're only just going to print out the whatever the origins are, and I think that might be it.
Yeah, it's like the 2012 reboot and on. It looks like it, but I mean they've been pumping them out, so it seems promising. And as I've seen, it seems like the sales are pretty good. I see people talk about them all the time. I do hope that they kind of go into the classic material as well. That'd be kind of cool in the same format. I think thick trade paperbacks is a good way for these companies to pump out a lot of material at once.
Right, and people I think are gonna, especially if for the lower prices, it's more appealing than $50-$60 of you going to a shop and saying, oh, it's $60, and then you're not buying it.
I mean, you're about to see this big time because Dom of X here, he's got the DC's Finest coverage with Curtis.
Yep,
and those DC's Finest books are already getting they haven't even hit the shelves yet, and they're already getting so much hype. I think those things are going to fly off the shelves for the first few months at least. And if DC seems committed to it, which they seem like they are based on the solicits, I feel like it's going to be a super successful format.
Maybe. Yeah, we are living in a golden age. We're hopefully going to be living in a golden age of reprintable and accessible trade paperbacks from every company.
Yeah, because the Marvel Epic line is a genius format. Like I can't praise Marvel enough for that format. It's so smart and it's just grown since then. So the fact that we have Alien books with Valiant kind of emulating that, we have a DC emulating that now, and Image has done a lot too with their compendiums and even like the what's the Kurt Busiek series? I'm drawing a blank here. The Superheroes Universe by
Astro City.
Astro City. They started doing that with Astro City thick trades. So
yeah, good stuff. And then real quick, Kenny, good morning. Reps from Alien said if sales are good for the first wave of Valiant Origins, they'll continue publishing them. Which is
there we go, Kenny.
Good sight to hear. Farscape, book 1 by Rockin S. O'Bannon and Keith R.A.D. Candido. This is going to collect the entirety of their Farscape 4-issue series in this there's going to be more books obviously, but this for book 1, this is what we do hope will be in, or not hope, but this will be what will be in Farscape book 1. Farscape Strange Attractors, Gone and Back, second series, The Argo's Lament, The Argo's Trial, and The Argo's Trial again. $59.99. I don't know anything about Farscape, unfortunately.
No, I neither do I. Sorry.
Neither do I.
We finally got stumped on one, but if you
I think Omar's a fan. If that means anything, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he is.
Maybe. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should get Josh on some.
There we go.
Josh, you would be perfect for these streams. It should be a 5. We need to rival the Marvel panel.
Josh is awesome. We definitely put him on here.
Should. Hoping that the Astro City Opus Omni is still same here. I think it's in production. The production between those has got to be. I mean, it's a lot. There's a lot of pages, and I'm sure that Busiek and the gang and Brian Anderson want to put in as much material for everybody out there as much as possible. Well, I think
the delays on that one is good news in my opinion, because they're really trying to restore and remaster everything to the best
perfection.
Form. So they want it, they're trying to get it put out in like you said, perfection, like the best way. They don't want they don't want anybody to grab that book and regret the ticket price on the book itself and say like, oh, these pages look fuzzy, or the reprints of this doesn't look great. Like, they're trying to really make it great, like a great collection. So those kind of delays I'm okay with.
I was thinking of Far Side and wondering who this was for. Okay, it's on Prime. Okay, Ghost of Jerry Stories, Fascism, and Same. Okay, you got me there. Maybe I'll check it out at some point if I have time. But yeah, hopefully we get Opus, the Astro City stuff in at some point. Jim Henson's Dark Crystal Archive by David Anthony Kraft, Brett Blevins, and Vince Coletta. $14.99. This is going to collect the Dark Crystal original motion picture adaptation, I guess. I've never seen it.
Vince Coletta on inks, I'm assuming. Brett Blevins on art.
Coletta on inks.
Vince Coletta, infamous, maybe famous Jack Kirby inker.
Yep.
Some people love him, some people hate him. But I didn't know he was part of this. That's interesting.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Trade paperbacks, first of which we have is Bone Parish Complete Collection, as we were just talking about thicker trade paperbacks. This is a 12-issue trade paperback by Cullen Bunn and Jonas Scharf. Those two have been doing so much I don't know anything, Josh. I wish. Anyways, Bone Parish 1 through 12, $19.99. Those two have been on a lot of things together in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic Cullen Bunn horror. Like, he's like one of the premier indie horror writers nowadays, right?
Yep.
I think, yeah, so I guess this was just released previously in, I think, 2 trade paperbacks. I know OmniDog is a big fan of the series. One of the earliest videos of OmniDog I ever watched was him covering this series, I think.
So this is, sponsored by a friend of the channel.
Yeah.
And if you don't want Farscape in hardcover, you can get Farscape in trade paperback.
Okay, I like options.
So nice job, Boom. So you have made a hardcover and trade paperback for that. Hello Darkness. This is an anthology of horror books, horror tales, 1 through 4. All of the creators you see on there: Wes Craig, JT4, friend of mine, Steve Orlando, Becky Cloonan, Garth Ennis,
Martin Morazzo, Ice Cream Man fame.
Ice Cream Man fame, yes.
Garth Ennis, James Tynion IV.
And a lovely cover by one of my favorite artists ever, Paulo Rivera, 1999, collecting again those issues 1 through 4.
I do love a good anthology, and that's got a lot of good creators on it. Anthologies like that are great because you come to the anthology for like the Garth Ennis and James Tynion then you come out of it learning a lot of more new creators that you've never heard of that you can then go follow their work.
Right. Even having those guys who might not be top bill enjoy their stories more than the regular top bill.
Yeah,
Sometimes that
definitely.
happens. And if you don't want Crystal Archive and hardcover, you can get it in softcover for $9.99.
Hey, there we go.
So there you go. And
here we go.
I just talked about this. So if you don't have the money to afford this, you can get it in trade paperback.
Or if you're just a paperback collector. I have a friend, his name's Paperback Dan, refuses to buy anything besides standard, like has to be same trim size paperbacks.
That's dedication, I'll say.
I mean, he even his name's Paperback Dan, so he can't go beyond his gimmick there, right?
But I bet he'll be picking this
up.
What's up, Joe?
It's like, is that the opposite of you, Dom? Then because you
oh yeah, no, it definitely feels like it. It's like, I think the only trade paperbacks I'm getting are just the DC Finest ones, but that's because I think I've grown a report. But that's it. You look at my collection. My collection mostly hardcover.
I remember when I first got into Omnibus a few years ago, I was like, I'm never buying paperbacks again, and then I eventually broke down, and now I have a more mixed collection of formats.
Oh, I'm very agnostic with formats. I have paperbacks, hardcovers. I do like limit things. So like I do collect a lot of the Marvel Epic collections. So anything mutant related to Marvel is an Epic collection. So I do have like format things like that. But other than that, variety of shelves. My shelves are all a mess too. Like they're not organized in any certain way.
Yeah. Do whatever makes you the happiest. Makes your wallet the happiest. Makes your family the happiest. Whatever that might be. Honestly, like that I think is the lesson that I've learned from comic book collecting is that no matter what the format is, if you are enjoying it, man, to heck out with everybody else. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, over the past year, I've only just got into the Epic collections with the modern ones and the other old ones. So I sort of go series by series, depending on whether I want the omnibus or the Epic collection or paperback.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like whatever makes you happy. I mean, who cares, right? Who cares what anyone else says about their thing? But as long as you are happy, we are all here. No, thank you, Matt, for hanging out with us this morning. We I feel like these sort of get thrown under. Obviously, I don't cover them on my own channel, but we do try to. There's so many good creator-owned books, man. I mean, there's the eyes. The competition for eyes on your comics, I think, has gotten so much heavier in the last 20-25 years, but I think it's a testament to how many people want to say, hey, I own this thing, I made this story, and that's what matters.
Definitely agree.
You're clearly unfortunately, fortunately, but unfortunately, he will be back sometime this week. That is, I think, all I can say on the matter. But he is still, again, he's still dealing in the best way. He's still dealing with the stuff in the best way possible. I think that's the best way that I can word it. But he will be back sometime this week.
He's holding his head up. I definitely know that he's appreciated all the outpour of support from you guys and all the comments and messages and stuff that you guys have sent him. Very much appreciative on his part. Like I think that's helping him get through it too. But
yeah, no. So we owe it to you guys for continuing to stick with us through this difficult time as we think of our friend who I know is suffering right now. We really do appreciate it.
For sure. We can't be Omar. We can't replicate, everything that you guys have come to the channel for him, and his greatness and his personality and that kind of thing. But we still appreciate the support.
Oh, for sure.
And he'll be back.
He will. I promise you that. I will give you guys more updates as the week goes along. I will say that we have a show tomorrow. James has actually been. I've been grateful enough to have been working with him on something that our panelists will have fun with tomorrow. So it's going to be a fun show tomorrow afternoon, right before Old Reader, New Reader. So, just a heads up on that front. But yeah. Next up, we got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Across the Morphin Grid. Whoa, that's a great Dan Mora cover.
Oh, yeah.
1999, collecting PR Infinity, Usagi Yojimbo, and Power Rangers 1, and Across the Morphin Grid number 1.
So it's like a
I
crossover
see.
type deal.
A big crossover between crossovers of crossovers.
I like it.
Hello, Super Laugh Hard.
Hey, Super
Hey.
Laugh Hard.
Okay, this is a Jeff Lemire book that everybody has been talking to me. That's like, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. I probably should check it out at some point. Which is Minor Arcana, collecting the first 5 issues of this series, $17.99.
Yes, sometimes with his series, I decided to get them in issues, and sometimes wait for the collections. This is when I waited for the collection, but I'm very excited for it because of course, anything by him, and this just looks cool.
Yeah, I think this was it was being hyped up by Lemire because he said he missed the idea of doing an ongoing longer series that he was on the art and
Yeah.
writing of, which he hasn't done in a long time. So I think this is going to be like, I don't think he said like an issue count, like it's going to be like 50. He hasn't said how many issues, but this will be going on further than just this for sure. And I love all Jeff Lemire's comics that he does the art for too. I'm a huge fan of his art style.
Which is a good thing. Next up, we got Uncanny Valley by Stray Dogs Man. Again, Tony Fleece and Dave Walker joining him on art. Uncanny Valley 1 through 6 is going to be collected in here as well.
Oh, whoa. Saturday morning cartoons meets the real world and comic fantasy in a Who Framed Roger Rabbit for a new generation. Sold. Great elevator.
Yeah, I haven't heard too much about this, but what I've heard, people have enjoyed it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a lot of fun.
Sold. I love any sort of like mixing of different artwork and styles and that. Like, so good. Really inconsistent for me. Sometimes he hits hard. It's Maze Book, and then it's Gideon Falls or Descender. Driller is a real killer. We get it. Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to pick that up. Super Laugh Hard. That's what I've been waiting for since that book came. That in my opinion. So I've never been the biggest Alex Ross fan, which I know is like he's a very talented. I don't think he's like not, but I like that
He's just not for you.
Photographic art style has never been my thing. But I will say, ever since he started doing covers on like Immortal Hulk and then on, like that art style was really starting to dabble in less photorealistic and really kind of pushing the boundaries of realism. I love like all of his Immortal Hulk covers are great. And then FF Full Circle, which I'm a huge Fantastic Four fan, the best artwork of his career, in my opinion. Like Kingdom Come, Marvels, you can take that and leave it. But FF Full Circle, I think, is its best artwork. Maybe controversial, but there's my hot take for the day.
There you go. This guy. All right. I think that suits it for Boom. And that also means it's time to talk about our European sponsor, which is Walt's Comic Shop, your #1 destination for all EU countries for graphic novels and collected editions. They got the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC books, as well as all your indies that you might see here too, with a flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, as well as bulletproof packaging. So that means your books will stay tight and slight in those boxes. All emails are answered within 24 hours, and they also offer a superb collection of out-of-print books as well. You can check out them at Walt's Comic Shop for more great deals, and if you use a code NEARMINTCONDITION at checkout, that means you can get free shipping within your first order over €40. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and collected editions in Europe. Ding, 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 ding. All righty. Next up, we got Dark Horse Comics for January 2025. And the first one we got is a hardcover for The Art of Marvel Snap. I'm actually, you know what? I will say I am these aren't the for those who might not know. Do you two at all play Marvel Snap or no?
No, but
I see
enjoys it.
I see the ads on YouTube like religiously. What's the thing I say? He's always like, imagine if you couldn't just drop $1 million on your card game, and then I forget what he says, but Every time I watch a YouTube video, I feel like I get that commercial.
Interesting.
It seems great though.
It's a fun game, at least from the like first couple of months that I played it. I haven't really picked it up since, but what it is pretty much just like you try to collect all of like the covers that you can. Bet like more rare art equals better cards, and you fight against other people. Sort of the same stack team and lineup. This isn't the art of those covers, because the art of those covers are like, other cover artists like David Nakayama, Art Germ, Scotty Young, Mark Brooks, etc. Right, like variant cover artists, etc. This is the original art for like their own line, if that's what you want to call it. So this isn't the cover art for all you see there, but the cover art of the people who have made the base covers for the game. So
it sounds cool. It's just one of those games that I feel like if I started playing, I get addicted to it. So
yeah, it's definitely one of those games.
I try to stay as far away as possible so I don't get into it.
Unfortunately, that probably might not be me when Marvel Snap comes in. Not Snap, Marvel Rivals, like James says in the chat. Here's one though, Grendel, Devil's Crucible Defiance, $24.99, 96 pages by the incredible Matt Wagner. Issues 1 through 4 collected in here.
I'm trying to see if this is like a new series or if it's old material. New. Okay.
Next up, here you go, as it is on the thumbnail. Wonderful cover, once again, by the incredible, indelible Frank Quietly. Jupiter's Legacy Library Edition, Volume 1 by Mark Millar, Chris Sprouse, and Wilfredo Torres as well. Collecting, I seriously hate that they do these on solicits, but it collects the first 2 series of Jupiter's Legacy.
The first 2 trade paperbacks. It's like they're only soliciting these for people that are upgrading for sure from trade paperbacks. You know those 2 trades he bought? Well, here you go. I do love that Mark Millar went to Dark Horse. I love that he has his own imprint there, I guess, and they're doing all of his hardcovers, because that's one thing is like Mark Millar's pumped out a lot of comics over the last decade, like indie comics for sure, but they haven't gotten the oversized hardcover treatment, so now we're getting that. And like you said, Frank Quietly. I mean, he only gets the best artists working for him, anyways.
Right.
That's one thing about Mark Millar too.
Chris Sprouse, man, shoot.
Wilfredo Torres. Mm-hmm. You'll never read a Mark Millar comic with bad art, ever, because he obviously prioritizes that, and he's smart for doing that. And apparently, all the artists that I've worked with him says that he pays them very well.
He compensates them more than DC and Marvel and most other companies do.
So it's from a marketing standpoint, I think that's genius for Mark Millar to do that. But the greatest thing for us as fans is that these oversized hardcovers, great. Mobile game. Hey, there's Paperback Dan right there. That's who I was talking about earlier.
Nice.
He's got a YouTube channel. Go subscribe to him if you want.
Lester of the Lesser Gods by the Goon Man, Eric Powell, and Lucky Yates, along with Gideon Kendall. Collects the original one-shot, new 3-part miniseries. $24.99, 128 pages.
So this, I was looking at the comicreleases.com the other day trying to get ready for the show, and I saw this on there. Does anybody know when this came out originally in issues? Because I follow Eric Powell pretty closely in his career, a huge fan of him, and I've never heard of the series. So I don't know if it's like a brand new thing that maybe I just haven't been paying attention to the single issues, or if this is like a really old series that...
Oh, this is brand new.
Wow. I didn't know he was working on this.
Yeah.
Because this looks amazing. His art style is perfect for this premise as well. It's like Lester, the LARPing bastard son of Odin. So you can see he's like the overweight, probably lazy son of Odin, which sounds amazing and hilarious. Like Eric Powell has great, like he has his finger on the pulse of good comedy, for sure. Where it's like you're reading like an action or a horror comic and you're just like laughing to yourself when you wouldn't be expecting to. Because I know Eric Powell, he did the. Did you hear what Eddie Gein done a couple years ago? And then he's working on a new book about Frederick Wortham, who's like the crackpot doctor that tried to ruin comics or did ruin comics in the 50s. But I didn't know that this was coming out. He's also working on Goon comics. So this guy's been like very busy, and I like it.
Yeah, Derek Powell continues to amaze me. Yeah, even to this day. So yeah, there we go. 128 pages. Next up, we got Stranger Things Library Edition, Volume 4 by Michael Morecki and all the creators you see there. Oh, including Nate Piekos, one of my favorite letterers in comics.
That's
This
Flamebot,
collects,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, I have his lettering book, his book on lettering.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy is one of a legend. Kamchatka and the Voyage. I haven't gotten past the first season of Stranger Things. I probably should get around to it at some point. 192 pages, $39.99.
These I haven't read this what the material in this book, but I've read like the material in the first 2 library editions. If you're a fan of Stranger Things, they really do add to the mythos. It's kind of fun stories. They're not adaptations of the episodes or anything. Like they kind of add to it. I want to say like they're like the greatest comics you'll ever read, but for the diehard Stranger Things fans, they are interesting, fun reads. So the 4 volumes, these are oversized library editions, pretty affordable. Or it also, if you have a fan in your life that loves Stranger Things and you want them to get them to reading comics,
there you go.
Gateway.
Yeah, I've read a couple of them, but not the ones collected here either. But I've seen all 4 seasons of the show, so I love the show.
Oh, great show.
Good stuff.
Dom, you got to get on it. The last season's coming out next year sometime.
It's
gonna be all you hear about when it's coming out, and you don't want to be behind.
I have a childhood friend. I've known him since he was in preschool. Because he and his mom and my mom were longtime coworkers. And he, when he got to high school, I was a senior when he was a freshman. He told me Stranger Things is like apparently like the best thing on Netflix. He was like watching it on the bus, and he kept that good. Like, you got to watch, and I was just like, I'll watch at some point. I got to season 1. I liked it then. I haven't caught up, so I need to do that.
Yeah, next year when the new season comes out, you're gonna be the only person at the water cooler that doesn't know what everybody's talking about.
It's so bad doing it. Someday. First for trade paperbacks, we got Atla, Ashes of the Academy. And this is a brand new adventure. You know what? I gotta commend Dark Horse for putting these out. Honestly, like, they're super fun. As someone who grew up with Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's really nice to see a publisher continue to put out something that like I recognize immediately from my childhood and also the characters that I love in there. They've done a really fantastic job of putting this, and these sell well too. Because there are a lot of fans incoming and also old-time veterans who've loved the show continue to pick up books like this.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier with I feel like every publisher should have like manga, create your own stuff, and licensed stuff. Like Dark Horse, with their licensed stuff, like you'll find people that don't read comics but are big Avatar fans going into this. Same thing with Stranger Things comics. And then hopefully they'll find some other comics within the Dark Horse catalog that they try out. Same thing for manga fans. You might find manga fans that love Berserk, for instance, that might try out some of other Dark Horse's comics. It's good. Speaking of which, look at that. Pop it up next. Good segue.
Yeah, great job. Berserk Volume 42. So yeah, completely agreed. It's a great gateway for people to sort of get into what the comic sphere looks like, for lack of a better word. It's also they do a good job with these. I really do think they do a good job with rolling out comics that are accessible for both people who are already experiencing the medium and also trying to get into it.
Sure.
So
this one's a big deal. This is Berserk 42. This is the first volume after Kentaro Miura, his tragic passing. This is the studio taking over and continuing the story. So this is a big deal for Berserk fans. It'll be the first new volume to read.
There we go. After that, this is Cyberpunk 2077, a kickdown by Tomasz Marchuka. Well, this is based on the video game, collecting 1 through 4 of 2077. After that, we got Drifters Omnibus Volume 1, another manga. This is the cover, collecting the 3 smaller manga all in one.
Manga, I don't mind so much with the solicits like that because
I know, yeah.
otherwise they'd be like chapters or whatever. Like they
Right.
don't have single
Right.
issues necessarily.
Right. Because they don't do the singles like we do here in America.
I think Drifters, I think that's a classic, like I want to say 90s manga that hasn't been out of print for a long time. So this is a big deal for fans of Drifters.
Sure. Duck and Cover. Joe, I think this is in your wheelhouse. This is a Scott Snyder, Rafa Albuquerque.
The team that brought you American Vampire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite satisfying because I want to try and pick up all of these different trades that Dark Horse is doing for these Comixology series as they come out. Because a few of like the initial wave, I read as they came out on Comixology a few years ago, but some of these later ones like this, I never got to either in digitally or in single issues. So I'm excited for this.
Mm-hmm. Is this a DuckTales spin?
That's what I thought. I thought it was some sort of duck comic, but I don't think so, unfortunately.
There you go. For sure, though. For sure on the Comixology originals. We got 2 EC archives. We got the Suspense Stories Volume 4 and Haunts of Fear Volume 5.
Yes. Dom, I saw you had a hole on your channel recently where you got some of these.
I did.
Have you had a chance to read them yet?
I have not because I've been overwhelmed with life.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll get to it around holiday Christmas vacation though.
Because you've never read EC before, have you?
No.
Yeah, so I'll be curious to hear your thoughts. But these are some of the most amazing comics ever. I've highlighted them on my channel a bunch this month for Spooktober horror comics, whatever.
You have.
And like, there's so many great artists in here. Like, look at that cover on Crime Suspense Stories. How does that not immediately make you want to read that?
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that Frederick Wortham was highlighting in the Senate hearings that then birthed the Comics Code Authority and things. They were saying that these kinds of comics were ruining kids' minds, but yeah, they're still worth reading, and they hold up today. So these are like 6 to 8 page strips. Crime Suspense Stories are all crime comics. The Haunt of Fear is going to be your horror stuff. Some of the greatest drawn comics you'll ever see. They are modern colored in these books, but these are such a great value. So it's $19.99 for 300 plus pages of Crime Suspense Stories right there, and they're magazine trim size. Like, these aren't your regular trade paperbacks. And then Haunt of Fear is only 152 pages, but it's still only $20 and it's magazine sized. So get my highest recommendation on these.
I will keep that in mind when I read these for the first time. Gunslingers by Mike Richardson, Jim Campbell, and Jordi Armengol. 128 pages, $19.99. I'm assuming this collects the Gunslingers series because we don't have a full issue collection under there, but that is what we do have. Then next up, we got Gunsmith Cats, Omnibus Volume 1, 608 pages, $29.99.
This is one that Josh Greathouse is excited about.
I know that Josh is definitely excited about this.
Is he still in the chat? I'm excited to try this out. I've never read these comics before, and I hear that they're great classic manga. They're from like I want to say 80s, 90s. Josh,
he's excited.
There we go. I knew it. So I'm excited that they're bringing them back in print now. 12 copies.
12 copies of Volume 1. Josh has been asking Omar this for years. Well, I'm glad that we have fulfilled that lifelong dream. Is that how that works? I don't know. But that is what we do have for Gunsmith. There you go. From Josh's and Omar's recommendations, buy Gunsmith Cats. Finally back in. Hellsing, Volume 9. I have heard nothing but good things about this series. Second edition. So this is a reprint. Collecting, well, not collecting, but is Volume 9. And then Ianu, Child of Wonder, Volume 4. African fantasies and fantasy superhero stories. I hate that this reminds me of a Shuri cover that I've seen from Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I could see that for
years
sure.
ago. But that is what I am getting with the vibes for that.
There's an animated series on Cartoon Network and Max, it looks like.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, so there you go. For we got to get parents in on this one. Yeah, Helsing is a reprint from the deluxe. Thank you. Me too, always an instigator. I got you there. Someday we will get a monster-sized BRPD like we did with Hellboy. Someday. Next up we got Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken Volume 7. We had Volume 6 solicited a couple of months ago on this specific live show stream. $14.99, 168 pages. And oh, here we go. The nice one as well. This is the Kurosagi Core Corpse Delivery Service, Book 6, $29.99, 664 pages, coming out on the 18th of March. You know what? I have heard, just by the premise, I have to read this at some point.
It's fun. It's a lot of I've read the first omnibus, so I guess the first 3 volumes, I think. And these books look great too. Like the way they're designed and stuff look awesome. It's fun stuff though. I recommend it.
Okay. Gotta keep that out there.
I need to keep reading it, actually, but
Kailu by Little Thunder. This is the full trilogy of Kailu. Actually, that's a pretty good page count. 400 for 30. It's not too bad. It's a little bit on the smaller side. But I like the idea of returning to childhood, that nostalgic feeling. And next up we got Minecraft Out of Order, Volume 1 by Josh Hicks, $10.99, 88 pages. So for all the Minecraft lovers out there, and there are a lot, they're continuing with this as well. My Year as Emma, based on a true story, multi-hyphenate Amena Keshchin Camel's debut graphic novel, is a timely story on staying true to you are. Oh, this is interesting. So this is about learning about your identity. This ain't that bad of a premise. 96 pages, $19.99. Still coming out next year on the July though, so it's a while before this is out. This is next. Oh, here we go. Here's a Michael Conrad book. $22.99, 136 pages. Neptune. This is another original graphic novel.
the cover looks startling.
That is a very haunting cover.
A bleak examination of the capitalist machine or machination. Sorry, the capitalist machine and those trapped in its gears. At once violent and beautiful, grounded and hallucinatory.
Damn.
Interesting. I want to check it out.
Yeah, this sounds cool. Honestly, the cover might even have me sold on it. Reversal. Go ahead, sorry.
Conrad's superhero books, but not any of his horror work.
Might be time to check it out.
Yeah.
They misspelled Wonder Woman.
Wonder Women.
Wonder Women. Nothing bad with that. Reversal by Alex DeCampi, Kelly Fitzpatrick, and Skylar Patridge. Oh my gosh, I love Skylar Patridge's art. This is another, looks like another original. Yeah, this is an original graphic novel. By Eisner Award nominee Alex DeCampi, and this is $24.99, 304 pages. And then another Qui-Gon, I believe, the resolicits for Star Wars Hyperspace Stories Qui-Gon. So if you guys want to know more about Liam Neeson's character from Phantom Menace, pick this out.
I was gonna say this was on our last month, I think.
Yeah, this was on last month, so had to resolicit. I am getting things mixed up. Stephen McCraney's Space Boy, Volume 21, $14.99, 240 pages. A small one as well. So if you are picking up Space Boy, I haven't heard much about it, but if you are picking those series up, this is Volume 21 of the series coming out next year.
I know the spines for this book have a really cool connecting design for all the spines.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, that's nice. I love those. They had the same for Amulet, I think it is, for Scholastic.
Oh, maybe.
I want to say one of the kids' books does, because I remember seeing it like on my comic shop. I was like, oh, they got a nice, neat connecting spine.
Yeah, these are at my local library whenever I'm looking at the graphic novel section.
Sure, for sure. And then we got 2 volumes of Witcher. We got a classic collection in Volume 9. So Volume 9 collects issues 1 through 5 of The Witcher. Corvo Bianco, labeled as a Volume 9. And then the classic collection collects the original Witcher comics, Road with No Return, The Betrayal Geralt, Lesser Evil, Last Witch, and The Bounds of Reason. I will admit I haven't read or played much of Witcher.
Or watched the Netflix series.
Or watched the Netflix series.
Yeah, same. I've never dabbled in that universe.
So let us know if... Oh, there you go. We got one person to throw it in for Witcher. Owls in the barn. Got to get on. Yeah, no Plants vs. Zombies for this round of solicits.
Those comics are fun, though. My son loves those comics, too.
For sure. And last but not least, let's talk about Image. Wonderful cover art by Francis Manipul.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't want to get demonetized on YouTube, but we do have Black Kiss Omnibus by Howard Chaykin, $39.99. Collecting Black Kiss 1 through 12, the second series 1 through 6, and Triple Xmas in July.
Infamous hard-boiled erotica series. Yeah, Howard Chaykin's an amazing artist, though. So if you have not read Black Kiss, it's definitely mature content.
As you can probably tell by the cover.
Yeah.
This is definitely a Jess book. I will say that. I think Jess has to do an overview of this at some point.
Yeah, I wonder. I'll have to ask Jess if he's read this series, because it is an older series. This is from like the 80s, 90s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely is up his alley, but I'm curious if he has read it.
Considering it is past the holiday, Josh, I doubt it. Yeah. What is hard boiled erotica?
It's a mashup of genres. You have hard boiled crime and erotica.
Yeah, I don't think that's a book for Joe and I, but to the people out there.
If you're a Howard Chaykin fan, though,
you're a Howard Chaykin fan, definitely pick this up. Here we go. Here's one that might be for the panel. Fish Flies 1 through 7, $44.99.
I read this in issues as it came out and just loved it.
I've been waiting for this collection. I read the Free Comic Book Day issue and it was great.
Yeah, because each issue is like oversized, like 40, 50 pages or something. So, and it came out bi-monthly, so it'll be cool to have it all in one collection now it's finished.
And it's Jeff Lemire on writing and art too, which we talked about earlier.
For sure. I got it. Yeah, this is probably another one to add. It is oversized, so for all the people who are looking to get their Lemire matching Image spines, and yeah, this will look nicely alongside my Ascender, Descender hardcovers. Next up, we got Art of Invincible Season 2 hardcover. Same thing as the art of the Marvel books, and all the art of the game books. Pretty much the same content that you would expect. $39.99 coming out on April. So for fans of the TV show, that is probably a must pick up for you. Hack and Slash Volume 5 hardcover. So for all the hack and slash fans, of which there's a lot of people who love this.
I love they have
Collecting.
that horror sticker on the cover. It's like the classic like VHS tapes in the video store would have stickers like that.
Well, I kind of wish they put it there and not there.
Well, funny enough though, they do, usually at the video store they put them in random places on the cover.
They do. They do. That's right.
I wonder if that's what they're trying to emulate.
There you go. I wonder what Bun and Lemire. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just content. Maybe it's contract. Maybe it's, hey, you can print this out, but not this out.
Lemire, I'm so confused though because it came out like just last year, or maybe the year before that. He was exclusive to Image, and then that was like the big deal, big announcement. He was exclusive to Image now going forward, and then all of a sudden he starts soliciting things for Boom and for DC. He's doing a lot of DC work now. So it's like, did that contract end? Was it 1 year? Or...
I guarantee you it was the Andrea Sorrentino stuff that pushed it all alongside.
Okay, because it was. I wondered if that was part of it too, because the Bone Orchard
Mythos stuff. Yeah, they're pumping.
That was supposed to be this big universe that was going to be like years and years and years, and they're going to build on it and stuff. And then like that kind of came to a halt. But it's just weird though. Like interesting but weird. But one thing I do always praise Jeff Lemire though. I think it's kind of genius as a comics creator to be having your stuff put out by multiple publishers, because each publisher has their own marketing team. So if you have Boom, Image, Dark Horse, which has Black Hammer, DC, all marketing the name of Jeff Lemire, that's only good news for you. Like you have 4 different marketing teams marketing your name. Like that, I think that's smart.
I completely forgotten about the whole the Image exclusive thing.
Yeah, it was a huge deal when it came out, and then it just he just started soliciting things for other companies.
I'm like, I
was like, what happened there?
Does anybody know if a company scooped up all of those Aftershock books in the wake of that bankruptcy? You still see the Baby Teeth Omni solicited everywhere with the date moving.
Well, just because they declared bankruptcy doesn't mean that they're dead, right? I don't know anything about if they're like completely...
I think this. Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. That's it. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I don't know if they've they're ceased to exist now, or if they're still trying to rebuild back up to being a publisher still.
Because like books can still get pumped out by a publisher, even though they might have declared, hey, like we don't have money to push or put things out. It might just be like new things, but things that were already on the docket are still going to go out.
Well, plus declaring for bankruptcy doesn't mean your business shuts down. Marvel declared bankruptcy in the late 90s, and they still continue to put out comics. Sometimes it's a business tactic to get ahead on financials and things, but I don't know that. But our Aftershock's done. I don't know the answer to that, but just because it declared bankruptcy doesn't mean that they are done. If that's what part of the question is.
Good question, Max. I don't think it's gotten solicited yet.
Volume 3 is not. We saw something pop up in a catalog, but it never got officially solicited.
Yeah, nothing.
And I'm desperately waiting for that because I love Ice Cream Man.
If only there was a site where you could find out if it's been solicited or not.
Like some sort of like comic releases website. I don't know.
Who knows? Last for the hardcovers is Sam and Twitch by BMB and TMF. Is that how you say it? Clayton Crane on most of the artwork for here. Sam and Twitch 14 through 26 is collected here, $29.99, 15th of January. Thank you, James.
Oh, James found the website where you can do that. Okay.
I know. It's insane. Up next, we got this is I was actually lucky and able enough to talk to John Layman about his Titans run. I had gotten a friend who was friends with him on Facebook. I did an interview with him, and I actually got in the full scoop that they were going to be doing this omnibus, collecting all 60 issues.
Nice.
So I was like, wow, finally, I got a scoop. Shoot.
Yeah, it's called Nomnibus. It's basically a compendium, though, right?
It basically is.
They just wanted to go with the cute name.
Well, Nompendium.
Yeah, Nompendium probably didn't sound as good. This is a series I've never read though. I will say
Yeah, I
I'm a
haven't read it either.
big fan of Rob Guillory's artwork though. Like I love his Farmhand. Is that his?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Farmhand, and I follow him on social media, and all of his artwork he does like for commissions and stuff always looks great. So I've always wanted to read this. I just haven't gotten on the bandwagon of formats because they've released it in a number of different formats. Maybe this is the way I need to go then. Just get it all in one.
Excited for Chew?
There we go. See, Paperback Dan's a big fan of the compendium format.
The best thing about our site, Max, we have 0 ads. You will not get touched by a single ad on our website. That is actually something I think we can be proud of. I will say, I hate the propensity for, I think, a lot of sites now to just like throw every single ad that you can on there, and it completely ruins the experience. We don't get any money. We literally do not get a single cent from people viewing the site. We have no ads. But we want to make the scrolling experience as clean and as interruption free as possible. So
I commend you for that because I hate websites that do that. Where you're trying to read a news story and it's like one paragraph and then an ad and then it might pop up and then you have to. I hate
click on the
yeah. Well, like this is off topic, but like 95% of the time, and probably more than that, I use the Letterboxd app. But like every so often, I use the website, and I've noticed the website is absolutely atrocious just because it's just piled with ads, and it's like this is insane.
It makes it unreadable.
Most people use the app. Yeah.
So when you scroll through if you're trying to scroll through these solicits at some point later, because they are all on comicreleases.com. You can even look up solicitations. They're all there. You will not get hit by a single ad. And we promise you that as long as I live on this planet and as long as I have access to, the site and I still run it through it, you will not see a advertisement which will kill your experience. That's something that we are very proud of. But it is, oh, there you go. Apparently his image deal expired. There you go. Well, interesting
3
stuff.
years. I don't know. Maybe it did. Because that would have been like 4 years ago then that was announced, and that seems like a really long time ago. I don't feel like that. That doesn't sound right.
I actually legitimately will promise you we will not have a single ad as long as comicreleases.com is up and running. I promise you that. As long as I live on this earth.
A year from now,
we own
they're gonna sell comic releases to Bleeding Cool, and it's gonna be Bleeding Comic Releases. And
if they give us $10 million, maybe.
There's a price tag right there, Rich Johnston.
Clip that, James. Clip it. But yeah. Just been jumping on paperback only. John Layman is coming back on my channel after issue 20 of Titans comes out, so sometime in February or March. I will ask him then for you, MDB. I promise.
Because they released it in like 2 different hardcover formats, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're all allowed to print those. If that's what he's asking, if they're going to reprint those.
Yeah, but yes,
okay.
Yeah, not this new one, but the old one. I guess continuing on the topic, there's a real fear with the spines of the image compendiums. We've seen so many of them split. Has there been any sort of production improvements in the past year?
I don't own any image compendiums to let you know, but I will say, I think technology in general with these compendiums has been improved because the DC compendiums, specifically the Lobo one, which I think is the biggest one they've released so far, it's like 1,200 pages. I read that thing front to back. I was not like precious with only opening it so much. I just read it like you're supposed to read a book and just open it up and stuff. No spine crease at all on that book. So I think DC's compendiums are really good and hold up really well. I can't speak to the image ones. I will say that these, like the recent G.I. Joe one, which is really big by Skybound Image, the fact that they use newsprint paper, which is a lighter paper stock, I think is good for the spine of that book because it's a lighter weight book. It won't hang on the spine with the weight so much, which is a big important part of that. Is the paper stock and how heavy it is. But I don't have any of the image compendiums to speak of.
I do have some of the image compendiums, and I've they've been fine for me.
Okay.
Like the recent ones like Descender and Paper Girls
Right.
and Saga.
And
Also, I looked up.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I looked up the Jeff Lemire thing, and the Image exclusive was 2 years ago. So 2022 it was announced, and it doesn't specify in the article how long it was. So
yeah, so even if it was 3 years, he's been doing stuff all year with Boom, and then he's starting.
He's got DC stuff as well.
Yeah, so that means it would have ended in 2023, which is only 2 years. If it started at the beginning of 2022. See, I don't think something funny happened there. Which I'm not saying like let's dig deeper, like something sketchy is happening, like, but something happened. It could have been the Sorrentino thing. I don't know, but there's a story there.
There is, because he's all over the place.
Maybe the future owner of comicreleases.com will be the one that.
If they give us $10 million, they will not. But if they do, but yes, they're doing a good job with the. I think overall, the longer you do something, the better you get at it. Typically, right? Because you learn from previous mistakes. Books may have had bad binding before, and you say, "Hey, can we focus on the binding and the spine a little bit more than the pages, or maybe we need to spend less on this and more time on that?" You do learn over time. You will eventually get into the flow of things, and I think Image, because they're doing so much of these now, they don't have the same mistakes as the earlier ones do.
They figured it out.
So yeah, kudos to them. New printing for Criminal at the Image price of $9.99. One of the best, one of the serial comics ever. By Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. I don't even know if I need to. I guess
so these are just trade paperbacks, just standard trade paperbacks.
Yeah.
Okay. Just in time for the adaptation to pop up.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of. But yeah, those were some of the earlier ones though. Always in Instagram. That's what we're trying. Like the newer ones that Joe's talking. He has the 7 to Eternity one, right?
No,
they haven't done anything on you yet, right?
Like just like Descender and Paper Girls and Saga and some.
I will say
the recent Spawn ones.
I don't know this for sure, but I'm assuming since Image is creator owned and there's all those imprints, like the place that Todd McFarlane has his compendiums printed might be different than where Skybound has theirs printed and another thing. So that the printer might affect it too. So
IDW January has a completely different one than those probably as well.
Yeah, so I don't know if we can just say flat out all Image compendiums are X.
That's true.
But
maybe if in that case,
I don't have any of the DC ones,
right?
So I don't know what those are like.
Right. Maybe the Todd father needs to spend less money on toys and more money on printing. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
I think the Todd father spending more money on or less money on toys and more money on comics period would be more time and attention on comics period would be good thing for comics fans. But he knows where his bread is buttered.
All right, exactly. Fallen in Love on the Path to Hell. Okay.
That's a great
name, Jerry. A+ name, sir.
Yes.
Volume 1, $9.99.
That also sounds like the title of an album for like an emo band back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
But yeah, I think that's fair. Because those are a lot smaller, but Joe, you said your Saga one is held up.
Yeah, I mean, even like the Invincible and Saga ones, I do have are fine as well.
I feel like Invincible is the thickest.
Yeah, Invincible has the thickest ones. Those are like 50 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Walking Dead, I think, are pretty thick too.
Yeah, and also Black Science. That's one of the Remender ones I do have. Yeah.
And speaking of another compendium, we got Killer Be Killed. Hey, I have the hardcover for this. I love this series. One of my favorite Brubaker books ever. I know this definitely torched me along with the Sublime Messages, but this is fantastic stuff if you have not read it.
I'm hoping they do a reprint of the hardcover though.
I do too.
Catcher in the Rye meets Death Wish. You know, I'm a big fan of elevator pitches. I like that one. That's a good
I
one.
like it too. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. You should get this. You should get this, Joe. Join the club.
I haven't read any Brubaker or Phillips, I don't think, so I'm desperately
really?
overdue for reading
This is
some
a
I
great
know.
introduction to them. I
I
think.
think Reckless is my favorite Brubaker Phillips.
Reckless is great.
I could read like 50 volumes of Reckless if they just stop doing anything else and they just wanted to do Reckless the rest of their lives. I'd be here for it.
Yeah, me too. This is one that I know a lot of people in my comics releases community has been on.
Yes.
Power Fantasy by Casper Wynyard and Kieran Gillen. Okay, you
Issue
got me on the
3.
cover. Shoot, man, that's a great design.
That is.
Go ahead, Joe.
Issue 3 came out last week. And I haven't read issue 3, but I absolutely love the first 2 issues. Because the artwork by Wingard is like so like vibrant and colourful, and it's so cool to get and see him stretch. And I know lots of people, including myself, were anticipating the next Gillen work, and this one's been awesome.
I love that the Jonathan Hickman blurb reads like a Jonathan Hickman comic.
A
book constructed with artfulness and nuance, and a care of that borders on being obsessive. This is a good one, folks. It's my highest recommendation.
That's why I love him so much, man.
He's great. It's just funny that it reads like, well, that's how you know he wrote it. Because there's a lot of writers out there that have these blurbs, like Neil Gaiman, perhaps, where you're like, did you even actually read the book, Neil? Because Neil Gaiman blurbs are like, the book was great, or this is awesome. Like they're never like this actually sounds like.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a thing that Jonathan Hickman would say about something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna wait for the oversized hardcover. I think for these, but from your Rex, Joe, and everyone else who's talking about it, I just look at the front, man. I love the power button. I love the green ink they used. It's sort of that that 160-degree angle. Gosh, man,
you're right. As far as like actual like graphic design, that is a really great design.
Yeah.
Kudos.
The graphic design on all the issues as well has been fantastic.
Is it Clayton who does it?
It's Ryan Hughes.
Ryan Hughes
who does the design.
Okay. Do the covers all look like that too, where it's like split in half almost? And
no, but they when the additional printings of the issues have started to look like that.
Oh, okay.
But the issues themselves also have a really cool design, and you see more of the art on that volume cover, on the first issue cover.
Because I do admire really good book design and graphic design, and I love when series have like their own kind of signature look to the covers and things. Like Black Science, the aforementioned, had a really great design quality to their covers that made it all look of a piece. And if you see it like on the shelves, you know exactly what you're looking at and what it is.
For sure.
Yeah, and also that synopsis gives like a very brief idea of the idea of the story. But Gillen in issue 2, in the back matter, he talks a bit more about the genesis of the story and sort of like taking his ideas from Immortal X-Men to like an indie space where you can properly explore them, and the ideas of like power scaling and taking like power scaling to its like zenith, where these characters are so powerful that they just can't fight.
All right.
Doing he takes care to note that it's not a superhero comic, but it's sort of like how you do something similar to a superhero comic without actually any action scenes, and he just writes off the tension there.
Interesting. I do like when these creators will work for a licensed property and then go and make their own version of it, kind of like Kyle Higgins when he worked on Power Rangers and Ultraman and things, and then he went and made the Massiverse. Like I love, like, I'm stoked for Kyle Higgins because he's been making a lot of these licensed properties and who owns them a lot of money over the years. So I'm glad that he's making it his own creator-owned version of it. I don't think this is necessarily exactly the same situation, but I like that Kieran Gillen is taking some of those ideas from his X-Men run and letting it work in a space where he can have the creative freedom to do kind of whatever he wanted without the editorial, control.
Yeah.
Gotta keep that in mind then. Up next, we got Witchblade, Volume 1, a book that actually we got a chance to break here on Near Mint, should I say. Omar got a chance to break the news on Nearman Condition. Mark Silvestri back on the covers, along with Marguerite Bennett on writing and Giuseppe Cafaro on art, with Irish Pianto on colors, collecting the brand new Witchblade series 1 through 6, along with the half-issue origin story from 2021.
This has this is gonna be over 200 pages for only $9.99. You can't beat that price.
Wow.
And then also it says it includes a 3-page scene only available in this collection. So if you've been collecting the single issues, there's gonna be 3 pages that you need to buy this thing for, which would normally, you know, I can see people being upset by that. Like, I mean, I've been dedicated to the single issues, and now but for only $9.99, I feel like they've made do with you know, that transition, whatever. But great price. It's one of those image things too, where they've done that in the past with the $9.99 like introductory price, and this is like a new era of Witchblade.
Yeah, good stuff. And the book that we were just talking about earlier in the stream, Astro City Metro Book 6. I know that a lot of people are waiting for the Opus edition, but we will have to deal with these instead. Collecting the third Astro City volume, issues 35 to 52, 34 to 99. Coming out next year on the 8th of January.
Is this the last of the Metro books? Does anybody know? I feel like there's only, I don't know how much more material they have, but I think it's either the last one or the second to last one.
Let me see. Let me do a little bit of research.
I feel like I remember maybe Omar saying that if they were to do the Opus collections, there would be 2 volumes total.
Oh, this is this is the last one.
Okay.
This would be the
6
last.
of these 6 trades.
I don't know where because they did an Astro City issue a couple of years ago. I don't know where they would slighten that, but yeah, this one should complete the series. I know that they did like an Astro City like one-shot special. I don't know where they would slide it in, if they even would. Anyways. Yeah, so this will mark it off. I've been loving the design on these. We will have to see if they continue pushing enough forward with the Metro, or the Opus edition. Death Vigil Volume 1. This is a new printing by Stepan Stajic. Issues 1 through 8. Don't know much about this. This book is edited by my good friend Steve Fox. Department of Truth Volume 5. James Tynan, Martin Simons, the rest of the crew. $16.99, coming out next year on the 29th of January. Issues 23 to 27 collected here.
I absolutely love
fantastic series.
This series is incredible work. I did do a video on the first deluxe edition for my channel this month, but that collected the first 17 issues. So it looks like maybe one more trade paperback would give us maybe 2 more trade paperbacks would give us another deluxe edition then.
I know that Steve has been wanting to do like a complete set of these at some point, so we could see an omnibus of this out in the future, or a compendium. Invincible Volume 7. This is a brand new edition of the trade paperback, collecting issues 35 to 41. So for all those people who are collecting Invincible in this format.
Yeah, I think this is like the digest tankobon size.
Yep, you're correct. Yeah. Night Season 1 Volume 2. Why Kennedy Luigi Formisano. $16.99.
Yes.
Wait, Joe, you are the big. I know that you love this series.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is such an underrated series. It's one of the most very underrated image series on shelves because it's so fun. It's so quirky, and it's got like oddly slice of life elements. So it's very like slice of life, but it's also some like long running plot threads, and there's like a weird like fantasy feel to it. There's sort of like alternate history aspects of it in the background, and the characters all feel very like charming and relatable, and the artwork is sort of perfect for that sort of tone and animated feel of the story.
Do you know if it's is it continuing on after issue 12?
Yes. Yeah. I think that they're taking a break and then they're going to come back for issue 13.
So I do love the design of that cover. I'm trying to see if they have the first volume on Hoopla. I'm not seeing. I mean, the title Knights isn't the easiest thing to search for either, but because I think you sold me on the series, I want to try it out.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the graphic design earlier of the Power Fantasy, and I think that's another great example with their trades.
Do you know when the first volume of the trades came out by chance?
Not off the top of my head.
I'll look it up later.
But
He'll add it to the list.
Usually all of Image's stuff's on Hoopla, so I was assuming it'd be on there, but
June,
read it,
apparently.
Gotta read it, Panels with Pete.
Oh, Panels with Pete. How you doing?
And
Yeah, apparently
another
the first
look
one
at-
came out in June.
There you go.
Okay.
I got a chance to review the first hardcover for this, and I cannot wait for the second because I'm so mad that I got late on the train with the Massiverse. But behind this and Busutiel's amazing graphic design, Volume 6 of this is coming out. I'm not gonna spoil. Well, I guess whatever happens, just sort of I can see sort of where the story is going, and because of all the people in my life who have been reading this book, including my friend Joe. It's like I can piece together where the story goes after issue 12. Volume 6 is the conclusion to an event. Again, I do not want to talk about it. I will gladly wait for this to spill and whenever it releases. But
Yeah,
this
I know,
is such a good series. Such a good series.
Paperback Dan in the chat. I know he's a huge fan of the Massiverse and Radiant Black, so he's been reading it.
Yeah, I was glad to hear that
collects
you enjoyed it.
all of the spin-offs and crossovers and all the things. So,
do we have any quick thoughts on the... Go ahead,
Joe. I was just going to say, I've been going back and forth on whether I want to get that hardcover because I've got all the single issues, but it looks so gorgeous and it's not too expensive, so I might have to.
You have to.
Did someone talk about Tash and Marvel?
Real quick, because go ahead. Real quick.
Well, look at this right here.
Ooh.
I have them all right there. Some of them are over on this other shelf. I'm actually building a custom shelf for these things. But Tash and Marvel library editions are absolutely beautiful. I have shown off a lot of them on my channel. They are the best reproductions of the era of comics, 100%. And Tashin's also doing EC Comics now. The first volume of EC Comics from Tashin, which I broke the news on my channel on one of my videos, will be coming out next year. They are absolutely beautiful. They're true facsimile editions. Like the covers are like a glossy stock, but then the inside is this actual paper that I guess Tasha came up with their own recipe to create, but it emulates newspaper print. But it's thick matte paper, but it emulates the same like soft touch of a newsprint. And the comics look exactly like they did when they came off the racks back in the day, except that they're large, oversized. They're like 11 by 15 books, so they're very massive, but truly the best way that Silver Age Marvel's ever looked in a reprint form.
For sure. And last but not least, again, friend of my channel, John Lehman and Todd McFarlane. This is the Spawn Scorched. This is the team book for Spawn, volume 5, 27 to 32. It's collected in here. Man, Stevenson, I'm so mad he's not doing big 2, but hey, you know what? Whatever pays the bills, I'm happy Steven's got a job somewhere. Love his art. And that is it for this round of solicitations. Folks, let's go around the panel real quick, and I think we can sign off right after this. Joe, what is your most anticipated of the solicitations for January 2025?
It's tough because there's quite a few books to choose from, but probably most excited maybe Duck and Cover by Snyder and Albuquerque.
Oh,
so I'm
nice.
excited for that trade.
Nice. What about you, Tay?
I'm trying to go back and and think. Off the top of my head, I think the Chew Compendium, because I've been wanting to read that series. I love Rob Guillory's artwork, and I can read it all in one and done format. So I think I'm gonna pick that one.
Okay, good stuff. Do I have one off the top of my head that?
I had to go back and look, to be honest.
Yeah, I did too. As far as I can't think of a single hardcover that I'm like super pumped up for this, because like last month we had Strange Girl, and That was
what
an easy
about Jupiter's Legacy with Frank Whiteley? Artwork, oversized.
I think the only problem is with that I don't have a single library edition on my shelf to match it with, so that would be hard for me to.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be hard for me to. You know, I'll go with Power Fantasy Volume 1, even though I'm not big on thin trade paperbacks. I'll go with that.
there we go.
But yeah, that is. Anyways, you can also find. Oh, thank you, Josh, for temporarily taking over James's position. That's right, Gunsmith Cats. Maybe I think that might be. Yeah. Gunsmith Cats and Power Fantasy are going to be my two picks for the month of January 2025 solicitations. But that is going to be it from the three of us. I unfortunately have to rush over and get a midterm done, but we do have enough time to talk about where you can find us. Joe, thank you for hanging out with us. Where can people find you?
Yeah, thank you for having me on again, and good luck with your midterm.
Thank you.
You can find me on Instagram at Joe Loves Comics, on Twitter at Joe Talks Comics, and the podcast on places like Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and hopefully more places. And like I said at the beginning, you can find my top 5 picks from the solicitations in general. And that episode will be going up next Wednesday, so very excited for that this month.
Awesome. And there you go. We got the links for Joe's social media. One of the nicest guys ever, man. I guarantee you will love listening to him talk about comics on his pod. Taylor, where can people find you, my friend, besides the social media sphere?
Yes. Taylor Talks Comics on YouTube. All month of October, every single day, I put out a different video talking about horror comics, and that's continuing all the way through Halloween. So if you're into horror comics and you want to watch some of those videos, I have a whole playlist on my playlist tab too of all the videos I've done this month. Just comb through there, see something that looks interesting to you, click on it, watch it, and comment, and let me know your feedback.
He has done a fantastic job of getting through the grind as far as all that is. I am saying that, like, the work you have to put in to push stuff like that out daily with the amount of expertise that you bring along with the information and the critiques, it's all wonderful. You guys should check it out. Like, I kid you not, he's done a terrific job of covering the month of October for the spookies of comics.
Thank you,
and
Dom.
of course,
very nice,
of course. And you can find me, obviously. I am Dom of X. I've got my own channel. I am thinking about a rebrand because someone, Curtis, Lars, and Jess we talked about it over the weekend. But yes, he has been doing a great job, Pete. You can obviously find me on my YouTube channel. I might not do a rebrand, but I will probably change my logo again. I have a couple of ideas and thoughts on how I want to do that. I want to continue to brush my portfolio in along. Maybe someone will notice me. No, Josh, no. Comic releases.
Dom Mick edition.
Of course, you can find all of the information for these documentations and solicits. I'll probably have them down in the descriptions at some point later in the day. Comicreleases.com is where you can find all of this. Patreon, if you are willing to help us out. Again, we get no money from the site, but if you're willing to help me and Webby out with the server hosts and costs, you can donate just $2 a month for our Patreon. Quick cup of coffee, even less than that. But yes, you can obviously get to us there. And the Discord, that is the easiest way to contact me if there is a book that you want to be tracked, or if you just want to say hi or give us some feedback. There's a contact forum on the site. There also is the Discord. But that is going to be it from me, Joe, and Taylor. We hope you have a wonderful Monday or whatever day of the week you're watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. Have a wonderful day for all of y'all.